July the 21st, colour. July is the most colourful month of the year, considering the extensive range of colours offered by all the cultivated and wildflowers all over the city. It is generally thought about 1/3 of all our wildflowers are white, just less than 1/3 yellow, 1/6 red, and approximately 1/10 purple or blue. Blue, white and purple flowers tend to be more evident in the early part of the year, and when summer arrives we get more yellows and reds. Various composites such as ragwort, St. Johnworts and mulleins are all providing the yellows, poppies and willow herbs the reds, and on roadsides chicory provides a piercing blue and mallows a variety of soft pinks. Viewing the countryside from a train, there is always green, but now there are more reds among the trees, and as yet no autumn browns. The lime greens and the translucent greens of spring are now long gone, and the greens are now much deeper in colour and often dusty. In meadows, purples, yellows and whites predominate among the green, but this is soon scorched by dry weather to a blanket straw colour, especially on commons and roadsides. It is well worth looking more closely at grasses now, as many are showing off their dangling, often colourful anthers. Cocksfoot, which is everywhere, has grey anthers, and perennial ryegrass, which borders most football pitches, has yellow ones. The best of all are some of the foxtail grasses in damp meadows, which are now covered in attractive lavender-coloured anthers. Later in the month, as haymaking progresses, cultivated fields can appear either silver, gold, or even bronze, depending on the time of day and the light conditions. Gardens, with all the selected breeding to enhance flower colour, are now awash with strong colours. Hollyhocks, clematis and irises between them provide almost every colour imaginable. Herbaceous borders, such as the double one at Backelston Hill, Wisley, is where to see the greatest range of colour, with the tropical borders nearby providing the hottest ones. Other borders worth visiting are Goldensill Park, Middleton House, Hampton Court Palace, and Regent's and Greenwich Parks. It is also worth noting the colours of some young birds, which are not just different from their parents, but often brighter in colour and with a higher gloss. The red caps of woodpeckers, the blue on magpies, and the green sheen of young rooks are all worth looking out for. Sounds. July has been called the silent month. This is mainly due to the fact that birds are neither announcing territories, trying to attract females, or calling to their young quite as much as they were, although there is still some monotonous calling of fledglings to their parents. As many birds are molting and trying to avoid attention from predators, they remain silent. If any are heard, it is usually just a short outburst and not the florid singing so typical of spring. Young swifts defy the general rule and scream continually as they chase their parents. Their calls seem to get faster and faster at dusk as they ascend to spend the night sleeping on the wing. Quite different are the restful sounds made by swallows as they chatter together, particularly late in the day. On the estuary, redshanks and lapwings may still be heard, as skylarks and yellowhammers can be on farmland. Jackdaws are still jacking loudly around old buildings, and the coarse calls of parakeets are getting ever more common, particularly when they feed together on favourite trees such as cherries or mimosas. Towards the end of the month, a wider range of birdsong starts to return, with songthrush, wood pigeon and green woodpecker all starting to be heard more. As the woods and meadows fall silent with birdsong, it is the insects now that start to be heard more. A welcome sound on a hot, hazy day is the soft hum of a solitary bee as it glides by looking for flowers. The hum of many more bees can be heard in lime trees or planted echiums in gardens, which are still a rich nectar source. Bees can still swarm this month, producing a much more intimidating sound. The most comforting sound of all has to be the stridulations of grasshoppers in rough grassland. These are heard by picnickers in favourable weather conditions in places such as Richmond Park, Ranmore Common, Farthingdown and Epsom Down. These sounds were more appreciated in the past, when some South American and Japanese species of cricket were even sold in small wicker cages in markets and advertised as, quote, singing like canaries. Occasionally a strange long-range howl is heard in the evening. This is likely to be a vixen calling to her cubs as she collects them together for the night. Many birds also make various supplications as they corral their families together to a roost.